feel like Doran's been very impactful on it, but also don't even want to put Keen on it himself. Which just opens some questions like, could TF be a ban for Hanwha Esports? Yes, apparently it will be, because obviously Rek'Sai kind of just... You can just kind of outmatch any difficult scenario. Maybe the Rumble comes in as a ban as well.
Yeah. Keen looks really good on that one, and I mean, seems like a pretty solid ban. I'd say it's one of the higher tier things that is available. You could look towards Cassante as well if you want to continue targeting the top lane. You could also try to take away an Ahri if you were thinking about that for the Ahri vibe, but instead it's a Corki ban against Zeka.
Yeah. I guess I'm just not that concerned about the Ahri. Or maybe thinking he'll go Talia instead. We'll see. We'll see how it ends up panning out. Sejuani going to be the ban, so denying that jungle pick, Canyon's played a lot of the series. But you're also giving R5 counter pick to Keen with Rumble open, but it looks like he's just going to lock in the Cassante now. Doesn't feel threatened to the other side. Now, Doran could opt to go for the Jace again, although it can be a little bit finicky in this matchup with the amount of setup that the Cassante has. Could go for the Rumble himself, could lean into things like the Renekton that we've seen throughout the split. It looks like Zeka is just going to go for the Talia here.
I like the Rumble shout, actually. I think layering the Equalizer on top of the hard CC you already have, it's not going to be easy for Gen.G to move around. You can control even more space. It can lane decently well into the Cassante. But at the end of the day, it is his choice. Could even look towards the Aatrox if you wanted Talia to be solo AP.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Aatrox here. I just feel like your comp really wants to go in, and I don't think it really matches up with that. The Jace, though, at least has a long-range poke, so you can kind of, you know, just soften them up a bit before you end up committing with the dive. And Doran did have a good game on it earlier that they were pretty happy with. Now looking towards the jungle pick for Canyon in this situation. Is it just going to be the Lee Sin?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, a pretty solid pick for him. You know, I feel like we've had some pretty adventurous, pretty interesting drafts that have come out so far this series. I feel like this is possibly one that's been just a bit more, you know, definitely some power pieces on either side, but just kind of trading off. Do you think that I like Hanwha Esports draft more? I feel like the Vi, Ahri is really strong, Zeri, Khan really strong team fights, the Jace did really good for Doran, but they're against Chovy Azir, which it's been such an issue this whole series. I guess at least they have in the Unraveled Earth, so they can throw that down when he tries to dash in and be like, no, Chovy.
It's going to help, you know, and you have a lot more lockdown. You have very reliable engage, not only with Vi, but also with the Rakan, and it's not like the Azir is going to be taking cleanse or anything like that, nor is the Nautilus going to be rushing Mikhails, so I think it's not a bad combination for the side of Hanwha Esports, but I am curious to see. I mean, if Gen.G get ahead and you have very reliable engage on their side as well with the Nautilus and the Azir at least, I mean, I think you're relying a little bit on the Nautilus there, but maybe the Lee Sin can help out with that. The Cassante can kind of run at them.
Yeah, I mean,
you have the Kai'Sa and Azir to do the damage.
I think both comps are very playable, and you know, I feel like I had my opinions about the last draft that I favored Hanwha Esports, and obviously Gen.G fought their way out of a deficit. So I think ultimately it's just going to come down to the play.
And game number 4 is ready. Let's hop into the Rift right now. Here we are, Gen.G 1 game away from qualifying directly to the grand finals of the LCK Spring 2024 and also getting a seed into MSI. Must be a lot of pressure, but also it feels like this team isn't very affected by pressure. Even Pays in the Heads, I think, turned it around in a good way in that last game and looked a lot better and did a good job of supporting Chovy. You know, it feels pretty good for Gen.G with the momentum on that last game to just try to do a bit more of that and come through. But it was a close one, so let's see if Hanwha Esports can make it interesting.
And I feel like they have consistently over this series. Like, there's never been a straightforward, easy game yet. And I'm really hoping they maintain that in this one, because, oh, Viper, you want to be a little bit careful. That's a Hail of Blades, Kai'Sa with a Nautilus.
Well.
Yeah, use the brush, and he knows because he has lethal tempo. If he doesn't get a stack, he isn't hitting anything.
Yeah.
I think it also stops short as well. But yeah, just checking the brush. But yeah, as I was saying, like this game is the one where you think maybe Hanwha Life Esports could crumble because, you know, especially after losing that last game, it must be a bit of a tilter. But they haven't showed any signs of slowing down. And yeah, Rakan has been going through a bit of a rough one. It's a fantastic pick for Delight specifically. And layering here.
Every other player on that list is like, I guess Cario was there as well, but a lot of them were just lower tier, you know, teams in the LCK that haven't won a lot, so.
It is true, but it's also, like, there's always that argument. There's also like, well, why are the lower teams picking up the stronger teams on? I think part of the problem is the lack of lane pressure, but also like, the prevalence of picks that really make it painful for Rakan. Talia being a massive one, but unfortunately that's on Hanwha Life Esports' side. Now Canyon's lucky. He will be spotted by this ward, but... Oh, actually, no, he's snuck around.
That is a very awkward spot for the ward to be in. Doran! Oh, no. And he just swapped back to his gun as well. The Q is going to land here, already flashed, and one more hit would do it. There it is, first blood given over to Canyon, who was given R5 Lee Sin and is looking to make it work for him. And
how did he know?
Level 2 Lehens is here in mid, and now Zeka is dead. Lehens making a play early on in the game.
Yeah, you know what I was talking about maybe Hanwha Life being a little bit boom? I would be after this. I certainly would feel a little bit boom after this. How did Canyon know? Maybe some good scouting on like frequent ward placements, but I feel like if Doran puts his ward like a little bit to the west, that play doesn't work, you know?
I mean, it just straight up looks like it's outside the bush. Like, it just looks like it's misplaced. I don't know. It should give vision of the left side of the brush if it's in the brush.
I mean, is it just
like,
outside completely?
It looks like it. They pinged it.
Yeah, it is. They pinged
know.
it. It's outside. So Doran just goofed himself. There's no other way to spin it.
Yep.
몇 초임?
Wow.
이번에 가봐.
What?
That's not what Canyon said. That's what Ox said. Just waits for the flash, and then he's already slowed by red buff and E, and it's very easy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is a tilt ward. And then because of the lack of prior bot, the Hens just wanders in. Zeka doesn't even try and flash the hook.
Yeah. The level 2 Nautilus in mid lane is, speaking of tilters,
yeah,
that's one that wins every solo queue game. And Zeka is a pro, but seems like he didn't expect it either.
this game is not looking promising for Hanwha Life Esports this early on. A lot of veterans on this roster, though. The hope is that they are able to bounce back. But yeah, not the best start for sure.
I just want a game 5, but let's see. Gen.G, if they win it here, absolutely deserve it.
And the Rakan is just struggling. But, you know, the Nautilus, the thing is, if you W the Nautilus, then it gives Pays free rain. And the Nautilus with Aftershock isn't going to take that much damage. So the Hens kind of playing with free abandon, but he's got no flash here.
Yeah, turnaround. They want to punish Lehens for the play he just made, and they will, in fact, do that. And they'll even give the skill over to Viper. So, bit of a trade back. Canyon, meanwhile, is going to take the Void Grubs.
We're back. We're back in it, you know. Hanwha Life Esports never going to give up. Definitely a little bit of needed referee. Even as you said, going over the Viper, sorry, is fantastic. Getting gold early on the Zeri. We do see Canyon having taken 2 Void Grubs, charging down, pick up the Rift Scuttle. It looks like they'll probably just clean up that last Void Grub, I would assume.
Maybe. Yeah.
You know, it's a new camp, right? It came in this year. I'm pretty sure it moved. I'm pretty sure it sidestepped it.
Maybe it did. I mean, we didn't have vision. How do we know?
Yeah. There's no way of knowing.
Yeah. Keen's level 6. He's Cassante. Doran does not have flash and is Jace. This might look like one of those games you were talking about where the Jace falls behind in lane and is not the powerhouse that we saw in game 2.
Yeah, I feel like Jace is such a fickle champion. It can be the most broken champion. It can feel like the most broken champion in the game, just doing huge shock blasts from a mile away. And it can also feel so incredibly useless. And it's like Hanwha Life Esports don't want it to be useless, so they're here to counter.
There is about to be a big shebang in the top lane. It's a 4v4 as now Peanut going to be dragged over the wall. Does flash away, and Chovy not able to get over either. And now another wall's coming in as Zeka looking to join under the turret. Have Gen.G gone too far? The answer looks like yes for now, but Chovy going to sweep up Doran and at least trade it back. And now Chovy here full on health. Has enough mana, but will they continue is really the question. Just standing in for the plate gold. Looks like they'll back.
The power of the K'Sante, though, even in that situation where, like, you know, it's a 4v4, but they're fighting under tower. Gen.G still win it out. Keen being level 6, a big advantage there. And it felt like Gen.G were ready, you know? They kind of knew people missing from the side of Hanwha Esports. Maybe they're looking for a counter here. Ends up being a 1-for-1. You know, Fortunately, Doran does pick up a kill, but goes down once more.
Yeah. And at least he gets the money, but he's still 12 CS down on that K'Sante. The wave was pushing away from him after the fight under the turret. Not a good spot for him at all.
Yeah, and Canyon does his homework. He checks his brush before starting the dive. Just K'Sante things, just drag Peanut away. He does manage to get the flash out. The knock away from Doran there pretty clutch. I think Peanut probably would have just died.
Yeah.
A very scrappy. Zeka comes in. Unfortunately, doesn't get the knockback on the Nautilus. The Nautilus still goes down, but, you know, was maybe hoping for a bit more value there, and his low mana on the back end. So, very scrappy. But
yeah.
The light?
He's fine.
He's okay. He's a Rakan. He's fast.
He's not Nautilus, where if you hook there, you probably just die. So, gets in, gets out, and he's fine. And yeah, I mean, Zeka, especially with the early Archangel Staff build, you're just sitting on mana, which is not damage. I mean, it can be, I guess, in an extended fight. But, hence, looking for something, not going to hit anything. There is a Drake here. Canyon did get the 3 Void Grubs and might actually look for both objectives for the team.
Yeah, should just be able to pick up the Dragon here. You can see Zeka's actually TPing both. Well, maybe they're going to fight this. He does not have the Weaver's Wall available, but they are looking to contest.
Yep. See how this goes. Just stay 4-on-4 for now until the TP is about to be available.
I think Keen's trying to keep him engaged, so he doesn't have a chance to TP. Obviously, K'Sante can very easily interrupt it.
Oh, keeping it leashed is Canyon. He says, okay, give it a try. And the Dragon to be burst down, and no, it goes the way of Canyon. Pops in with the Q, executes it down with the smite, and it goes the way of Gen.G.
Yep, good smite from Canyon there. Able just to dash in, pick it up, and disengage. You can see Gen.G were a little bit precarious about taking the fight. I think particularly with Viper now being level 6, combined with the power of Peanut's ultimate, they were just a little bit concerned. But they're happy to take the Dragon and disengage from that situation. More than happy to do so.
Yeah, getting value with not a whole lot of risk. Always going to feel nice. So plate did go the way of Viper, and he is ahead on CS down in the bottom lane. So that is one potential future win condition for the side of Hanwha Esports. Maybe can utilize that extra farm to carry some fights, have a Zeri moment. But for now, still a whiles away before we do get to that territory of the game.
Yeah, and I feel like this top lane match stopped being fun a while ago for Doran.
Yeah.
It's always like, you know, you lock in something like Jace, you're like, it's going to go great, I'm going to be harassing, I'm going to be doing big damage, you're going to be winning lane. Then you get ganked once, it's like, I don't want to play Jace anymore.
And then you become a K'Sante one-trick. That's the full evolution of the top lane. But not in this game. And unfortunately, they don't have another game. So no time to become a K'Sante one-trick for Doran, in this series at least.
Have to win on Jace to earn the right to play K'Sante.
Yep.
You know, Keen got his Rumble win in. That's why he's allowed to play K'Sante.
Ooh, oh, baited in. Keen taking multiple turret shots, and now, do they have the damage is the question. Peanut not going to continue. They see Canyon, and they'll just back away.
They're just so scared of this champion. You can see, like, Peanut pre-flash, because he's like, he's going to ult me through the wall, he's going to ult me through the wall. You know, they're like, I want to kill him, but I don't want to get near him. It's like, it's kind of ridiculous that that passage of play can happen. He could be so low on HP, and they're still so afraid of getting near him. And I think they're justified, honestly. I mean, I know people will be watching this and be like, that looked a little bit goofy. What were they doing? They were scared of K'Sante. We can all appreciate that.
We can all relate, yeah.
I'm scared of Cassante, and I'm not even playing the game right now.
Yeah, especially Keen's Cassante. I said it before we even started the series. I think this guy is one of the best at team fighting on this pick. His team fighting in general is kind of insane. And he goes to it in game number 4. So we get to see it here. We'll see if it does work out, if they can close out the series, a 3-1 pred for the side of Gen.G. It's not super common, but still a lot of Gen.G win predictions were coming through. And the way that Chovy is playing right now seems to be a pretty good call, but let's see if they can close it out.
Okay, so they saw that ward just get placed in the brush, so they know someone is here. They now know exactly who those someones are. Peanut's here, but he doesn't have ult.
They are going to commit to this. The flash engage from Lahen's sails totally wide as Chovy looks like he's going to stop him from getting over, but it doesn't quite matter as now Canyon in a bit of trouble himself as well. It's just going to be 2 kills to the Zeri, who is now 3-0. Viper benefiting so much from the dives of Gen.G.
I feel like this is always where, like, a Zeri pops off, you have an early skirmish before you really think of her as being a problem, and she just slides in, picks up a couple of kills, and then suddenly you're like, oh, 3-0 Zeri, that's not looking too good for us.
It's true. I mean, she is one of the best at following up on plays, and going that deep is very dangerous if this area is ever there. Now, you might not expect Viper to be in the top lane at 12 minutes into the game, but with the amount of dives we've been seeing and how long it took them to actually pull the trigger on that, it was kind of telegraphed.
This just feels like, you know, like the average bot lane game where you have like 5-man bot permanently and there's fights everywhere. We're getting kind of the reverse, where it's just like the whole team is just top lane trying to protect the Jace or alternatively kill the Jace.
I think it's fine if you do your homework and Hanwha Esports don't respond as well as they have been. I mean, they have been really quick, and sometimes the dives have still worked out for the side of Gen.G, but that one absolutely did not. So Hanwha Esports take the gold lead for probably the first time in this game, as they're still trying to bully Doran.
Yeah, Doran sends something. I mean, I don't think he... I say he sends something. I think this whole game you just have to assume there's like 3 people in every brush. Yeah. I think that's the way you have to play the Jace on this one. Safe assumption to make, I think.
Yeah, and it makes sense. I mean, on the side of Gen.G, you have Cassante, who's great at setting up plays, and it's a Jace who did 42k damage in 30 minutes in one of the games in the series. So, of course, you want to shut it down. It's not very good at surviving ganks either.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, does it work out? I mean, Doran's about to finish a call. He did die twice, and the Zeri's fed. So, kind of, not really?
The answer is kind of, and we'll see. I feel like that's been the consistent theme of the series. Second Dragon will be picked up by Gen.G though, and they are hoping to high roll a good soul off the back of this.
And it's Ocean.
So, not great. Not too hot. But still, like, it's decent against the Jace poke. You have some bulkier targets who will benefit from it, but definitely would have loved to have a Mountain again on the back of this one, especially with Tank Azir likely to come in for the 3rd time this series. Yeah. I know Chovy would have loved some Mountain Dragons in here.
Yeah. Would have liked it, but that's just the luck of the draw. And at least you can get more health so that you regenerate more? We'll see. And this is the dive in the top lane.
Yeah, and they actually start to try and switch onto Peanut. Lahen goes for the flash hook, but Peanut dodges it.
I mean, he walked in a straight.
You know, we'll give Peanut the credit. And then, yeah, just Viper's able to slide over, finish them off. Pretty easy going.
Zeri says, oh, is it over already?
Yeah, I was hoping for a few more on the back of that.
Yeah.
No pentakill at level 8. How sad.
I feel like it's happened before. Maybe not level 8, but like level 10, 11-ish, surely. In one of our many games of Zeri that we've had.
Far too many.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to take this moment to say, how nice is it that Smolder's in here?
Yeah. I don't think anyone really... I mean, we had that one epic game where it looked like we might get a stalemate, and then Guma just shot him out of the sky, and then it was over.
Yeah, but I think, you know, there were some fun games, but I definitely don't miss that champ just being so obnoxiously broken.
Yeah.
It's kind of reminded when we were talking about Zeri and pentakills. Unlike he's what's setting up this, Doran already chucked low, and Keen has TP.
Yeah, look at this TP war on the bottom left. it's going to be massive if he ever TPs. Oh, it's just going to go to Canyon. And now the Wombo comes in, a massive sweep from the side of Chovy. And yes, a bit of damage goes back, and the Zeri is surviving. They get a kill onto Canyon, but can Viper do it alone is really the question. Doran's getting in there. They're taking out Chovy. They take out the carry. As now Keen getting in there on the Cassante. Doran in the backline. He redeems himself. And Keen, he dodges so many of the Qs from the Zeri. It's not even funny. But eventually, he just taps on him, and Viper wins the fight.
The cleanup from the Zeri, able to reposition after Chovy gets the ult, able to re-navigate, and this is why Zeri is just so bonkers broken. Disrespect the pick and a will punish. Kind of criminal that Canyon just kind of slides in and gets a smite steal. But we see the shuffle comes in, Viper gets caught, but this ult from Delight gets so much value. This is why the Rakan was banned against him in game 1. Huge charm comes in. And then here, Doran knocks Chovy towards Viper. The kill comes through. Keen disrupted from reaching the Zeri by Delight once again. Huge hero plays from him.
Yeah.
And then Cassante still doing Cassante things. But Zeri still able to come out on top. The extended play going hugely in favor. And Viper, I'm going to be honest, he hasn't had the craziest series, you know, for how much praise we're giving him, but he really popped off in that fight. Him and Delight both.
Yep, that's the bottom lane of Hanwha Life Esports, right? That's what they're capable of, and we just saw it there. I mean, the fight, I thought it was over after Chovy swept 3 people into his team, but I guess it wasn't. Staying power, the longevity of the fights is insane. As the wall's going to come down here, nice driving, I guess, into the wall just to save the health, but that just means that the Reptile doesn't really do anything. So
yeah,
good on the side of Zeka to put down a wall and deny it.
Yeah, good move. You know, a couple of champions. Talia's one, Bard is another, where you just kind of have to respect the ability to completely shut down the Herald. It means Herald as an objective loses a lot of value. You can't just freely slam it down, and they kind of forgot about the potential for that.
So Chovy had a great time sweeping Jinxes. By the way, we do have Doran in a lot of trouble, as does the power of the Kaisa, I suppose, gets in on a Doran, who's once again bullied. The rest of the team was not running that direction.
Remember I said that thing about assuming every brush has 3 people in it? Well, it did.
It did.
It did. So, I mean, it was only the Naught at first, but it didn't take long for it to become 3 people. And Doran just a little bit of an oopsie there. Ends up paying with his life.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good team fight, but
he was ready for another.
Not.
Wait, did he see Lehens walk into the brush?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna assume not for his sake.
Yeah, let's say he didn't.
He didn't see him.
Yeah, no, he totally didn't. I don't actually know, but no, he didn't. An Ocean Drake is about to spawn. Meanwhile, Zeka's like, oh crap, I'm just gonna flash away from that. That's very scary.
Why are you guys here? I know Chovy's the main carry, but let me lane. And they just give up the Rakan, which, I mean, this is the thing. It's a lower value Soul. You only have 2, so it's not like Soul or Elders coming anytime soon anyway. So Gen.G opting to put that pressure topside instead, I think, is understandable. And especially a singular Ocean Drake this late is not doing much for anyone.
Yep. What is it? 2% max health every 5 seconds.
Instant health every 5 seconds.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, even worse.
Yeah.
Not feeling great. But on the side of Gen.G, they're going to feel great. Yes, they won't be able to spawn an Elder quite as fast, as you mentioned, but they get an inner turret in the top lane. And going to take a gold lead here by about 400. As it has been this entire series, the gold leads have not been very large.
Yeah, hasn't really seen either team. It's never been like a huge lead. I feel like this game was the closest when like those 2 early plays came in. I was like, oh, is this going to be a stomp? Nope. This series has just been very back and forth. And honestly, I feel like regardless of who wins here, obviously looking like Gen.G at the moment, if Hanwha Life Esports goes down to that lower bracket, whoever ends up matching them out of D plus 1, good luck.
I mean, Hanwha Life Esports already just made quick work of T1, right? So
yeah,
maybe T1 could get some confidence by defeating DK if they do.
Yeah, I mean, you'd hope they'd come back stronger, but
it definitely, I think the point is that these 2 teams look like by far the 2 strongest teams at the moment.
For sure. So. And very evenly matched. Even though Gen.G have gotten the edge, even though they're ahead right now in sort of the series score, it feels like every game could have gone either way. Which honestly, we haven't had that often in series. Even if a series is close, sometimes you get games that are a bit more one-sided.
Yeah.
This one has been a battle throughout.
Well, both teams just posturing around the mid side, kind of just K-Ram at the moment, but if you're sitting around and Jace is hitting big damage, then you're going to be feeling pretty good. Nice and unstoppable there from Keen, just to save himself. And I mean, Hanwha Esports just looking for a pick at this moment in time. You can't do the Baron this early, but he's standing on a ward, and now even though it's Kasante, 5v1 is pretty good odds for the side of Hanwha Esports. That's a free pick onto Keen, and maybe now they'll start the Baron.
Yeah, really nicely done. They catch him with the seismic shove, and then they CC him before he can even use his W to kind of block it out, and now starting up the Baron. I would not risk a flip here. Canyon has had Peanut's number when it comes to smites, but if they can start a fight, they still have ults available.
Yeah, they're like to turn, and Chovy gets away from that one. Peanut taking a huge amount of damage, actually, but Lahan's kind of left out to dry as the turn does come in, but they're only hoping for one kill. Chovy still trying to run. He's going to have to fight away the Talia on the wall. Incredible timing, as he's always had against that ability, and he gets away with his flash.
You know, I feel like that so easily could have been 3 kills into Baron, into the game is just done.
Yep.
I actually want to watch the replay to see how Chovy dodged away from Delight there. I think he just managed to dash it. The initial play, though, they don't let Keen press his buttons. I think that's a big takeaway. No one gets in a position where he can, like, ult them to get out. And by the time he uses that final ability, it's not enough. And you can see here, Delight is fishing for Chovy, ends up stepping on a ward, and just dashes through him. He still takes the charm, but the Merc Treads mean it's short. He's able to get away. The Hens just gets spaced out. But again, I think this could have been so much worse for Gen.G.
And this divide as well.
Oh man.
It's so insane, this player. But as you mentioned, you know, Hanwha Esports to get a nice little pick, but it ends up just being a couple of kills to their side. It's absolutely not game-breaking by any means at this point.
Gen.G doing a really good job of mitigating it, but they still are dealing with a 7-0 Zeri. So, yeah, mitigate that, I guess, is what Hanwha Esports is saying.
I'd say Lahen's job, very important in this game. Pressing R at the right time onto Viper and making sure the Zeri is less of a problem than she already is.
Yeah, and with Runans and LG already completed, one of the issues we had in the previous game was the Jinx not really being able to cut through. Viper's doing a lot of damage already, especially if the next time gets completed, he will shred. Even Keen, he will actually be able to cut through pretty convincingly, so I don't think the everyone build tank and just outlast them strategy is going to be as viable in this game.
Yeah. The Jinx just doesn't quite have the same feel as the Zeri, does it?
The same feeling of inevitable.
Yeah, exactly. Just totally taking over games and stuff. I mean, there were opportunities, surely, for the Jinx, but not quite the case. As now Lahen's, he's going to get the grab here on a Viper and maybe a chance, but now the peel comes through. Chovy's got some soldiers forward, but they want to burst him down 100 to 0. They don't quite do it, though. And the damage comes through, but look at the damage. Chovy gets a 3-man sweep on in and just turns the fight, takes out the Zeri. Down goes Delight, down goes Doran, and Zeka is alone. The stopwatch timing is so good, but Chovy eventually does go down, but it's traded. Gen.G, they take a huge fight in the mid lane.
I just can't believe he keeps playing these fights. It feels like so flawlessly every time, finding the key targets. Every time the game starts to feel like it's going in Hanwha Esports' favor, Chovy just finds a way to turn it around. This fight's a little bit messy, you know. Peanut dodges away from the ult, and as a result, Viper gets caught out, and he seems struggling to make an impact with his range, but Chovy eats his full CC chain, doesn't end up going down, and then just as it feels like the fight's disengaging, he gets the shuffle on a Viper. He has had Viper's number this whole series long.
Yeah, especially because, you know, he had to flash, and knowing he would be an easier target. Let's see what he says.
Yeah, take it.
Zeri.
Yeah,
Go, 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 go.
The fact he also catches Delight on the other end, so he can't do anything to peel. He dodges the knock up here.
앞에서 맞을 거 있나?
Can someone block?
He's like, no, he just walks away.
He's like, I'm more important right now.
He's like, you're on your own, buddy.
Yeah. No thanks, not blocking that Talia damage. And now it's second Ocean Drake of the game, and both teams are here.
It's a 4K gold lead for Gen.G.
trying to make a play. Delight going to be hooked out of his dash. Down he will go. Gen.G looking to stack even more. Good smite from Canyon, just in case. And now they're on soul points.
Yep, they've been stacking up these dragons and... Oh, might look for something here.
Yeah, I mean, they scanned out the vision. Lehens looks dead. Oh, the hook is incredibly, awesomely buffered, but eventually Vi just presses R, and they take him out. But still, a lot extra had to be used to take him down.
Yeah, I think you misstated Lehens' job. We thought it was to press R on the Zeri. It's actually just to die.
And hook away.
Yeah, and
try to bait out as many things as possible.
Exactly, burn as many cooldowns as possible, because they burn like Vile, Clear Wall, Zerial, so much on that play.
He's waiting for it. The Unraveled Earth is really the one thing that peels well, but if you can dodge that,
don't go in, don't.
You're not getting away. Well, that wasn't it. And now, okay, nice stopwatch, nice Zhonya's to get away from the knockup, but not quite the game-breaking divide we've seen.
Wow, Chovy missing an ult.
Yeah, honestly,
my MVP. I mean, come on.
You know, I'm voting for Lehens in this game. He's doing much more.
Yeah, he's...
Wait, I don't have a vote.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of one of the issues with Rakan is the champion has a lot of potential. Delight's been playing it really well. Yeah. It's so fickle, so squishy, even with the Celestial opposition. You just get blown up so quickly. But apparently that's also true for Nautilus. It was a really nice few to buffer the knockup, but he does eventually go down. He kind of gets sick of him not dying and goes, I will just ult it.
Sure.
Open auto brush. No, don't do that again, Canyon. You can't do that to him.
Smites it.
He's not messing about.
It's no Baron, no Dragon, so that's totally fine for Peanut to do that.
Sitting on the same items for like the last 6 minutes or something.
Yeah. He should almost have Navori.
Should be very close.
I mean, there's really not much left.
Yeah.
In that item.
A lot of the big components, but it just feels like he's been at this kind of cusp, his 4th item for a while. Should hopefully finish it soon.
Yeah. Gen.G have certainly taken some big strides into the lead. Feels like one of the bigger leads we have had, actually, in this series in terms of gold, about 4,000. And they're on the cusp of an Ocean Soul, which, again, you know, it's going to be nice into the Poke, the Talia, the Jace, especially.
Especially with how bulky the Azir is, again.
Yep.
You know, everyone was like, oh, God, do we need to have Azir back for playoffs? Like, Azir's re-enabled. I actually would have been okay with it if it wasn't for this tank Azir. This is just obnoxious.
Yeah. Well, our players are very smart, and they keep iterating and making new and interesting builds for the balanced team to then squash and get rid of.
Why would you deal damage and be squishy when you can deal damage and be tanky? It's
pretty clear cut.
This message was sponsored by Cassante.
Yeah. And Aatrox, I guess.
Yeah, the tank Aatrox we've been seeing.
With only lethality items.
It's beautiful.
Peanut's having trouble getting over walls with that Q ability.
He was just testing. He's like, can I Q over the wall here? The answer's no. He's just figuring it out, you know?
Okay, yeah. Well, Q is a difficult ability.
Second tower of the game.
Yeah.
For Hanwha Esports.
It's an objective bounty as well.
Delight? You just burn your W. I mean, I think you're fine, but... I feel like it's always so scary when you have no allies around, your W is your escape tool. So I think it's very scary doing that.
Certainly could have been dangerous, but it wasn't. And now sieging down on the bottom side here. We don't have a Talia anywhere near at the moment, and actually no more minions.
He's tanking the tower.
He's just tanking the tower.
This is so stupid. And the thing is, he has Zhonya's, so like it's so hard for them to engage him. He has Zhonya's, he has Flash, he has
224 armor.
Yeah.
And he had Mountain Soul in last game. That was even more ridiculous.
Look, nobody would ever discredit Chovy. He's been phenomenal this series. But please, God, we never see this tank Azir again. It is obnoxious.
Yeah, I think we can all agree on that.
I think putting it into his hands is just, it's an abomination, honestly. It's just too much. And now he has Abyssal Mask, so he's got plenty of MR as well.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Talia has 49 MR.
Zeri has 47.
Yeah, Kais had 49 as well.
But also, when Chovy goes for a shuffle, he shreds their MR with the Abyssal Mask. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty strong, and it is a problem for Hanwha Life Esports.
Viper does have 4 items now, though. So does Pays, who's gone quite AP heavy. So a lot of poke. Oh, Peanut.
Trying to get in there. No more Celestial opposition now for Delight either. And Keen gonna force out the flash, and a double knockup comes out from Keen. Wall is gonna be utilized here by the side of Zeka, but Kaisa can easily get over that. And now you don't have Weaver's Wall. Delight is chunked out with no support item. And this is Ocean Soul. Knockup on a Chovy though, he's gonna get stunned up. And the Zhonya's will have to be burned. Didn't quite take that much damage, and now the sweep comes in! Chovy gets it done once again, and Viper's just out of the fight. Gets the R pressed on him, the depth charge, and now Pays finding the angle, gets in the backline. Viper is so incredibly low as the hook comes in, and finally, just finally, he will go down as Gen.G, the clean ace in the bottom lane.
And you know,
and 2,000 kills, why not?
Perfect timing, honestly. And this has been a back and forth series, but looks like it's going to come to the end. And, you know, I'm just going to say it. I think this could have even been a 3-0 for Hanwha Life Esports if it wasn't for Chovy putting the entire series on his back and just saying, I am the best player in the LCK, witness me.
He certainly did that today, and Gen.G have done that as well in the LCK right now. 3-1 is the score line. They make it into the grand finals, and they qualify for MSI. Congratulations to Gen.G, currently the best team in the LCK.
Huge double whammy, huge reward for this series, and they've always been so good domestically. They end up clutching it out again. We'll be able to once more defend.